To say the housing market in the Triad is on fire would be an understatement.
I'm starting to basically call this a gold rush.
But some people are getting burned. Higher prices are making racial inequality worse.
People from historically marginalized groups are certainly in danger from this hot market.
And it's drawing out new scams like a moth to the flames.
Scammers never cease to amaze me. I think that this is one particular scam that a lot of people could fall for.
Remember the good old days when you could shop around for a home with a big fancy kitchen?
Yeah.
Yeah, now pretty much as soon as a sign is placed outside, houses, they go under contract.
They absolutely do. Buyers are swiping up properties left and right. There is simply more demand than there is supply. So from now until 6 o'clock, we're going to dig into what's causing the deadlock and how it's impacting our community and your family.
Here's a good snapshot of the problem. Check out this joke from a real estate lender. He tweeted an image of a playhouse listing nearly 300,000 grand and captioning it, 2021 housing market be like. Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, that's tongue in cheek, but it's not too far off. We're going to start with the pricing of homes. A Zillow report shows the average price of a Greensboro house has increased by 13% in the last year. If you're going shopping for a home, you can expect to see the average price at $189,000. This time last year, homes were valued at $169,000 on average. That's a $20,000 increase, but it gets even crazier in Winston-Salem. Housing prices have skyrocketed by more than 16%. The average home now costs $179,000. That's up from $155,000 just last year.
You know, people aren't getting those kinds of raises right now, too. It is a seller's market for sure, and we asked some realtors how long that's going to last. They say the housing market, it moves in cycles. Long cycles. They said we could be in this deadlock for at least a few years. Now that's just not enough new houses are being built right now. In fact, Keller Williams agent Jason Coleman says the Triad has been seeing a falling inventory for the last 5 years. Plus, last year, a lot of sellers, they just took their house off the market because they were scared of losing their job. You totally get folks not wanting to make any big money moves right now, but because of that, the supply in the Triad dropped even more.
It's very tough to see what's going to happen. There's going to have to be a neutral supply and demand. There's going to have to be some sort of neutrality between supply and demand.
Also, low interest rates are encouraging more people to get loans now, and North Carolina is attracting a lot of people moving here from states like California or New York because, you know, we're just so much cheaper here. To really let that sink in, think about these bizarre stats about the Triad housing market. If no more homes were built today or went on the market, we would run out of properties within 3 weeks. Coleman says that normally takes 6 months. The average sale price of a home valued at $200,000 last year has appreciated more than 50 grand already in just 14 months. And surveys in the early 2020s predicted the average price of homes could reach $350,000 in the Triad by 2026. That is just 5 years from now.
Triad MLS reports homes in Guilford County increased in price and more sellers closed on their homes, but the inventory stayed low in the first quarter of this year. Only 452 homes were available in the first quarter. That's down from more than 1,100 homes that were available last year. Only 234 homes were available in Greensboro in the first quarter compared to 586 in 2020. Here's what all of this means. If you put in an offer on a home today, there are dozens of other people also putting in an offer. Because there are so many offers, at least one of them is bound to go over the listing price. This means more homes are being sold for more than what they're worth on the market, putting more money in the pockets of sellers and costing buyers that much more. One expert says there is one other issue that the market is facing.
New home building has been depressed ever since the Great Recession, and the pace of new housing starts just has not really picked up to the level it needs to be.
All of this has a big cost to our society, too. I talked to some leading experts today who say the current housing market is making racial inequalities worse. Take a look at why. According to the Census Bureau, at the beginning of the year, 74% of whites owned a home. Compare that to 49% of Hispanics and 45% of blacks. And as home values surge up, that means more whites are increasing their net worth than any other group. Plus, a professor at UNC told me it's really hard to change these stats right now because first-time homebuyers are losing in bidding wars for properties. See, they typically need a loan which comes with a whole lot of strings attached, according to other offers.
Many of these buyers are investors who pay with cash. Typically, a middle-class, working-class family cannot compete in that kind of market. And so we know from research that homeownership is part of that wealth building ladder. And if you preclude that from African American and others, it kind of delays the building of wealth over the years.
And while some people are having a hard time buying a home, a senior fellow with the Brookings Institution says the hot housing market is just as hard for minority groups renting right now.
If you're low wealth, if you're a renter, it can be a burden. Because those spiking prices can mean higher rents, or it can mean pressure from landlords to evict a tenant simply because they feel they can replace that person with someone who can pay higher rents. People from historically marginalized groups are certainly in danger from this hot market.
And that is exactly what the Biden administration wants to address in the American Jobs Plan. This plan includes a $213 billion investment to construct and maintain more than 2 million affordable homes. More than 500,000 homes would be built or reconstructed for low and middle class home buyers. Something else the president added to the plan, removing exclusionary zoning laws such as minimum lot sizes and mandatory parking requirements that can drive up the cost of housing and construction.
And if you're like so many others who bought a new home or refinanced during all this craziness, make sure to be extra skeptical of any letters you might get in the mail. See, real estate attorney Christy Bynum in Greensboro says scammers have been targeting new homeowners.
Once we complete closing, the documents are recorded at the Register of Deeds office, which is public record. Well, there are companies and hackers that go down and research newly filed items with the Register of Deeds office, and they then send out little postcards. I've seen that, or even, regular letters that appear to be from the lender.
Now that letter from the scammer really tells you have a new loan and that your loan has been sold to another company and you should make payments to them instead. They might even ask you to set up direct deposit and give them all your bank account information. Huge red flag there. The Better Business Bureau says before you send any money, there are 2 simple steps you should take first.
Call your original lender and ask them, hey, did you really sell my loan? And if so, to who? And second, when you get a letter like this, look up the company to see what kind of information you can find on them. Go to bbb.org or go to Google and put in the name of the company and scam and see what comes up.
And the next time you see one of these signs of the time popping up in your neighbor's yard, remember there's a whole lot more to the numbers than just the price tag.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for watching and good luck hunting for that new dream home.